Welcome back to Brentwood Bowl, our championship match. Of course, as always, I'd like to thank our fine technical crew. A splendid job. Roy Alfers, our director, and his main man, top assistant, Julius Jesse Jackson. And as I mentioned last week, don't you dare confuse him with the presidential candidate.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe in this man, too. He gave us a show last week. A couple of big games. Starts out a little early this week. Cutting through the head pin, leaving the 2-4-7. A choppable spare, but he's made a few of these in his time already.
What a difference in age among these two, Riga Kalfas and, of course, Bill Pollard.
About 100 years, isn't it? Sorry, Bill.
Jennifer, help him out.
Yeah, no, not quite. Nowhere near. 20 and 56.
All right.
Riga is 20 years old.
So I missed by a few.
Riga looking for the spare in frame number 1 of our championship round. Picks it up. Little pat on the back
in a lot of cases, it's not a bad, I mean, you don't want to try to start out with a difficult spare, but it doesn't hurt you when you do. You get your motivation, your concentration back. Yeah, I brought back a tough spare. Take that.
Quite similar to a cup of coffee for us coming out in the morning to get things going.
I'll tell you what, there'll be a lot of people wanting to know what Bill Pollard ate for breakfast this morning, and I'd like to know your thoughts. At home, we ask you week number 1 for some ideas on tips. We're going to be doing those next week, so if you have any suggestions, I'd like you to please mail your comments or suggestions in, and we want to thank you for all those that we received, to the BPA office. Just address it tips or put my name on it, David, and we'll be glad to take a look at them as we take a look at Bill Pollard going slightly high and leaving the right-handers 4-9, the lefties 6-8.
Jennifer, I know you were our queen the first week. How'd you do this week?
This week I'm sitting on top from Saturday, which I'm going to tell these ladies to come out and give it a shot. I had a 636, which is very beatable. I think I'll even be back to see if I can't better it myself.
That's
this
fair
past week from Brentwood, I believe Regina Pollard was our queen, who's very tough, and the Pollards are out in full force this morning, I see. Ricky, Ronnie, Regina, also Vicky Pollard.
Trying to watch Dad become the king.
They're very enthusiastic about their bowling and especially about their father, which I can relate to.
Indeed. Riga Kalfas, though, was a determined champion 1 week ago, and here to defend. Spared in the first. Frame number 2, looking for 10.
He spun that ball, Tommy.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the release is supposed to take place in a very confined area at the bottom of the swing. Let's watch this replay. Now watch his hand twirl around the ball. See it right there? His thumb was pointed more down at the floor than it should have been. It should be finishing for Riga in the 2 o'clock area and then lifting up through the ball with his fingers. When you spin one, it's not going to hook, and even if it does, it's not going to hit. 2 poor shots to open the match, not like last week.
No, not at all. Again, looking for the spare, and again, he rocks him down.
I'll tell you, Riga bowls 5 times a week, and that's where you see all of his consistency and what he's doing. When you're bowling 5 times a week, you're throwing a lot of games, and your game just gets better with the more times you bowl.
You know, now when I sit here and I watch some of these guys, and with all the spin and the hook they put on the ball, the first thing that comes to my mind is like a pitcher who will throw a lot of curveballs, for instance. Does the arm start to wear after a while, where you can bowl actually too much?
Over the years, Tommy, that's exactly what does happen. Steve Fair, one of the biggest names that our city's had in a long time, has had to have surgery on his hand. I've had elbow surgery on some tendons and some nerves that you have a tendency to go ahead with. Now, watch Riga. He'll go through his own little mental checklist, muttering to himself, okay, which foot do I start out on here? And then go up and throw. It's a mental game, and Bill Pollard right now is feeling good about where he's at. Riga Kalfas is lined up now. I think we're going to see a lot more strikes.
Jennifer, have you had any arm problems?
No, none at all. I'm 21. Well, I just turned 22 this week, so I hope I better not have.
Well, happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
22. Boy, I remember when I was 22.
Yeah, what,
last 2 years ago, a year and a half.
I'm glad you remember it. Now, for me to remember it, that would be an accomplishment.
That'd be one heck of a feat.
Bill Pollard leaving the soft 7 on the left lane. Thank you very much. Shoot this spare. Now, we've had a few people write in and say, can you teach us how to shoot spares? We'd love to do that. But for the 1-minute tip that we have, we just don't have time. A quick rule of thumb reference is for every 2 boards that you move left or right on the approach, it's equal to about the width of half of a pin, or 3/4 of a pin at the end of the lane. Now, this is going to change depending upon whether you throw a straight ball or whether you throw a big hook. You have to get a spare game mathematically suited to your normal release, Tommy. And it's difficult to figure that out.
Most of the players we see do have hooks to some degree, and I really don't recall right off the hand of a player that we've had that throws what you refer to as a straight ball.
Well,
Can you win?
Don Scudder, prime example of someone that throws a relatively straight ball, Tommy. And Don Scudder is just incredibly accurate. And when you throw a straight ball, that's exactly what you have to be, because you don't have the advantage of the side roll and rotation. Riga has his own little ritual that he goes through here each and every time. For the players at home, you've got to do what's mentally comfortable for you, but you also have to operate within a certain structure time-wise. Riga's being young. He's going to be working on that for a long time, but when you throw a lot of strikes, it kind of helps smooth it over a little bit.
As I said, we are qualifying today at Fairfield Lane. I'd also like to say hi to Mr. Charles out there. They've all been very gracious to us out there. And we are qualifying, so go over and bowl a shift.
Watch the footwork of Riga Kalfas. Little stutter step there at the end. What a shot. 1-2 pocket annihilated. Red Sea shot at him. I knew it was coming, right? Bill Pollard, who's been carrying the light shakers and breaking up some splits, has had a few things go his way. Unfortunately, we watched it last week. Not unfortunately for Riga. He's fantastic. Unfortunately for Bill. He's lined up now, Tommy.
Now, Riga, you mentioned he's lined up. He's come back with 3 consecutive strikes. How does the match shape up then at this point?
What you're going to do is, if Riga were to strike in the 6th frame, he's 30 pins in the lead, and from what we've seen of Riga, once he gets a lead, it's almost impossible to catch him. There you see it right there. If Riga strikes in the 6th frame, gives him 97 in the 4th to Bill Pollard's 67. 30 pins plus a strike working actually makes it 40.
Bill Pollard started bowling in Germany, by the way, at the age of 22. I'm not sure. I know he's from Germany, but I don't know if he was born there. But he did start bowling there.
And, of course, we have a lot of German heritage right here in Cincinnati.
That's right, the good beer of Hudy, huh? I can't wait for springtime to come. I got to check with Tony and make sure they're going to brew my beer again this year.
Your beer?
Your Bach beer.
My personal Bach beer. Turn into a connoisseur. Yeah, that's right. A connoisseur.
You've always been, haven't you, Dave?
Of certain things.
Mike Schott from Hudy, of course, has been out of town. I'd like to welcome him back. I know he and his wife were down in I think it was the Caribbean for a short spell, and good to have them back. And Riga is really back on target.
Well, he's just throwing 10 in the pit every shot.
The Kalfas train back on track. Bill Pollard, big trouble. Lanes 41 and 2, Brentwood Bowl, week number 3, and Riga Kalfas looks strong.
We'd like to say hi to Shelley Moyer, too, who is Riga's, he is engaged to her. Hopefully he'll come back with that $750 check again this week. And Shelley, come on, take him up on this presents now. He's in the money.
So you're getting him in trouble every week, Jennifer. You said that last week. The guy's already, I mean, look at him. You know, he's probably a little discouraged still from that last week. And now you're already putting him right back on the spot. But he says, hey, I'll knock him down and find a way to spend it later.
That's right. And as we watch on the replay, we can probably see a little in his eyes the money that he thinks he's got to spend on all these presents as he rips the bottom out of this ball. Incredible. 1-2. Yes, I like it.
I don't want Riga to think you and I are getting him in trouble.
No way.
I'll mention to him after the match what's going on back here. Bill Pollard not going to roll over, though.
He's still got 3 full frames left, working on a double from the 6th and 7th frame. He hasn't run out of paper yet.
No, 7th and 8th frame, both players have filled up strikes in the 6th and 7th. The 8th frame is going to be critical. Bill Pollard is 40 pins down as of right now. And I'll tell you what, there's only one way to knock down 40 sticks, and that's keep on a striking. He cannot miss.
Well, there is a miss.
That's a shame. With only 2 frames yet to go, you come off of your string, your opponent's got 40 pins. Tommy, I'm not saying it's impossible, but at this point it's going to be extremely difficult to win, and Riga's going to have to make a couple of pretty major errors to let Bill back in this match.
I'd like to send a get well wish, too, to Bud Boston, who's in the hospital. Bud, get well. We'd like to see you next week at the show, coming to you from Fairfield Lane.
I'd like to pass those same wishes along to Miss Sue Dierking, who is recovering from in the hospital, and we understand doing well. Came out of intensive care a little bit earlier in the week, and hopefully she is watching our telecast today, and wish you the best.
She's a strong lady, I'll tell you.
Hopefully.
Super lady.
She wouldn't miss this. She postponed an operation once to watch this show. Are you kidding me? Hello, Susan.
We might have to postpone the rest of the season the way this guy's going, because he looks like he cannot be beat.
Well, he comes off the strikes in the same frame, the frame number 8 that Bill did. But again, the 40-pin lead is actually grown by 1. It's 41 with 2 frames to go. Riga Kalfas would have to open in the 9th and 10th frames for Bill Pollard to have a chance.
Really enthusiastic crowd today. Dave, you mentioned the fact that we have a lot of folks, but boy, they're making some noise.
They sure are. That's nice. I'll tell you, you got to have it. When the crowd's backing you, Riga's pumping, he's striking, he's winning money. It's a good day for Riga.
Over his right shoulder there, that's Tony. He's kind of saying, what is with this guy? Goodness.
There's Ron Bonner, too, sitting at the score table there. He was our standby. He rolled a super game. Lost to Don Scudder, who toughed it out in the 10th through a double. To beat him, Ron, he'll be around. I guarantee you he'll be on this show this year. He's a super bowler. He's young. He's competitive. He wants to win.
Boy, now, after, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive strikes.
On the replay, Tommy, we'll show you why it wasn't another consecutive. He flipped it. Watch, see that again? He gets down at the bottom of the swing, yanks up through the shot. The thumb goes rotating too quickly. See the deflection on the ball? It jumps to the left, and that's your 4-pin laying there in the gutter. When the ball deflects, your 4-pin's going to do nothing. That's why you got to stay underneath it and lift up through the bottom of the ball, not spin around it.
Now, with the kind of groove that he got into in that stretch, why all of a sudden could he come back and make a mistake like that on his release?
Well, we're talking about an incredibly intricate game here, Tommy. We're talking something with a 1-inch variation or a millisecond difference in when you start your wrist rotation will make a difference. And that's what makes this game so frustrating sometimes. You might think you're doing exactly what you want to do, but if you had the advantage of video, you could actually see that you are making a mistake and you don't even know it.
It is a very technical game. There's just so many factors that play into it. You can't believe the number of balls, the surfaces of the balls, the way the lanes are oiled, your hand position, your timing. It's just on and on.
Yeah, it's incredible, Jen, you're right. The game is over. Even if Bill were to strike out, the best he could have done was 215, and Riga Kalfas, without throwing a ball at all, he had 205 in the 9th frame. If he'd have had to hit his ankle twice and Bill go out, but the party's over. Again, Riga Kalfas will be our king going into week number 4.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see more than 1 Pollard this year. As a matter of fact, maybe 2, 3, or 4. They're all capable. Good crowd.
Now, Bill Pollard has been impressive, very impressive that last game, boy. He finished with a 248, but as we've said before, and as Dave and Jennifer just mentioned, the fact that Riga Kalfas right now is really on a roll.
Bill doesn't want to back out of here without showing us that he's there. He wants to strike. Just get it over with, go on. Maybe he'll go over and qualify again today. I wouldn't doubt it.
Riga speeded this up a lot. Let's see if it would really bother him. Yeah, he took a little off the ball. He actually speeded up his setup and threw the ball, but he threw it slower.
He's stepping right back up there again.
Yeah.
Let it fly, Riga.
Well, there you have it. It's the king time again. And, Tommy, I'll tell you what, we're going to get you out for a qualifier, I think.
We'll just sit.
Yeah.
I saw your trophy last night. It was great.
I'd say I really enjoyed myself. And Riga Kalfas is enjoying himself because for the second consecutive week, he is our king. We'll speak with him in just a moment when we return to Brentwood Bowling.
Last week, during our untelevised Queen of Bowling, Regina Snodgrass shot a 646 at Brentwood Lanes to become this week's top woman qualifier. And Lee's famous recipe would like to salute Regina Snodgrass.
Lee's famous recipe makes
Let the motors roar. World Sports Promotions presents the 3rd Annual National Championship Arena Cross. Saturday and Sunday, February 13th and 14th in Cincinnati Garden. Motorcycles, quads, plus a monster truck car crush. You'll see the top Arena Cross riders from all over the country. Plus a team race each show between Kentucky and Ohio. Then along comes Barefoot. See this awesome giant monster truck doing some serious car crushing. Cincinnati, get ready. The 3rd Annual National Championship Arena Cross. Coming.
Welcome back to Brentwood Bowl. Got everybody up here. And Dave, you've got a little bit of cash for everyone as well, don't you?
That's right, Tommy. In the first match, Don Scudder, $150. Don, you bowled well, but not to be today. Congratulations. Jim, you've had the hot hand so far this year. Not quite hot enough today, though, but another $225 to go into the kitty. And Bill Pollard, you said, Bill, you didn't quite play him right, but $375 will soothe the hurt a little bit. Congratulations. Tommy?
Well, for the second week in a row, we're standing here with our king, of course, Riga Kalfas. And Riga, $750 for you. Now, we mentioned Jennifer's going to get you in trouble. She's telling about your fiancé. She's not going to spend that, is she?
No. We got bills to pay and all that kind of stuff.
All right, let me ask you about the match a little bit. It looked like after the first 2 frames, you started to find your line as we take a look at it.
Well, and I was practicing down on the warm-up pair, and when I came down late, and I only got to throw 2 balls on the TV pair. And I really wasn't quite lined up, and then I just found the line.
What's it been like for you? I mean, these last couple of weeks, it looks like you're almost unbeatable at this point.
Oh, it's been hectic. I've been real nervous, but I've usually bowled good under pressure, so hopefully I'll keep being nervous.
And you'd like to keep bringing back that 750.
That'd be nice. Inshallah, I could get something.
You better believe it. Well, good luck to you. Of course, also again next week, speaking of big bucks, we've got our 14K Golden Ball contest. No one won today, so that means $300 goes into the pot next week. If you would like to get involved, again, here's the address of BPA Golden Ball Contest, 1821 Summit Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45237. David, of course, will be back again next week, and I believe we're in Fairfield, and you're doing a little qualifying today.
Well, we're going to run up the pike and see if we can knock down a few pins. Fairfield Lanes is the place of the action, and that's where we're going to see you next week, Tommy.
Hopefully we'll see you rolling.
That'd be nice.
For Jennifer Kleekamp, David Newrath, I'm Tom Brenneman saying so long, everybody, from Brentwood Bowl.
Greater Cincinnati BPA's Hudy King of Bowling. Brought to you by Hudy Delight, Cincinnati's own light beer and an official beer sponsor of the Greater Cincinnati Bicentennial.
coach or the team.